Well guys, it's that time of week and we're back with another Family Guy review. This week we are going to be covering Family Guy's latest episode as of the time of this recording, Season 22, Episode 13, titled Life Guard Meg. Needless to say, this is a jaw-dropper of an episode revolving around Meg working as a lifeguard while Peter, in typical Family Guy fashion, ruins her experience. In this video, I'm going to break down the plot of the episode, then give my overall thoughts and rate the episode between 1 and 5 stars. But first, if you guys like videos like these and want to keep up with these reviews, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you can be notified as these videos release. Now, with all that out of the way, let's begin. This episode begins with the Griffins attending the Quahog Family Ocean Park. Shortly after entering the park, Brian notices that Meg is crying while petting the touchable fish, showing that she is longing for attention. I don't know about you guys, but this is one of those jokes that landed for me because you can just really feel how uncomfortable the fish is. After a few jokes, Stewie wanders off and falls into the dolphin dungeon. So Brian quickly alerts everyone around him to get help. When Stewie falls in, Peter initially hesitates to jump into the water, but Meg rushes in without a second thought, heroically saving her baby brother. After committing this heroic act, Meg is scouted by the employees of the park, who suggest to her that she should become a lifeguard. Meg takes the employee up on the opportunity, and then we cut to the B-plot of the episode revolving around Brian and Stewie. For the B-plot, Brian and Stewie are having a back and forth in a coffee shop, when suddenly the owner of the coffee shop is confronted over a tweet. The shop owner is cancelled for not using all caps when talking about a movie he enjoyed. Then everyone in the store starts listing off new names for the coffee shop. I don't know about you guys, but it really feels like they're just overusing these canceled over a tweet plot lines lately. Eventually, everyone leaves and then Brian and Stewie are handed the keys to the coffee shop, which they renamed Oh Joe You Didn't. After that, we cut back to Meg, who is going through her lifeguard training application. As soon as the application starts, we get one of my favorite jokes of the episode.
I just have a few questions. If I were to ask you how many times a day you shower, what would you say?
The pool is a shower?
Wow, skipping to page 2.
Meg quickly finishes her application and then is hired by the Quahog Family Ocean Park. Once Meg finishes her application, we cut back to Brian and Stewie, who are opening up their coffee shop. However, once they open up the coffee shop, they quickly realize they have a problem, because neither of them actually went out and bought coffee beans, so they have nothing to serve their customers. Stewie and Brian stall for time by pretending they're working on a DoorDash, and I have to say, this scene really got me laughing.
Okay, make it look like we can't help anyone because we're preparing a giant order for DoorDash. Dave? You Dave? Dave?
What about us?
You're actually here, so you don't matter.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have actually driven a lot of DoorDash, and it's quite the opposite in real life. Usually DoorDash orders are put on the back burner, and if you get there early or even just on time, at least in my experience, you usually have to stand around, making the experience just awkward for you, the employees, and the people around you. Back to the episode, we resume with Meg working at the Quahog Family Ocean Park. During this scene, we are shown that Meg is truly loving her job, even saying that what she loves most about being a lifeguard is not receiving any more abuse from her family. Of course, all of this comes crashing down immediately because, as I mentioned at the start of the video, Peter decides to intrude on Meg's job by getting a season pass at the water park. Meg is obviously upset about this because this job really means a lot to her, and she even tells Peter that she can kick him out anytime she wants to. Peter strikes a deal with Meg though, and she lets him stay as long as he promises to follow the rules, but we all know Peter isn't going to do that, especially when it's revealed that Joe, Quagmire, and Cleveland are with him as well. Now we cut back to Brian and Stewie, who are still stalling for time. Eventually, the college kids in the coffee shop get ready to leave, but Brian quickly comes out and begins serving them coffee, revealing to Stewie behind the scenes that it's just Folger's coffee. Brian and Stewie's coffee shop is an immediate hit, and after a hilarious joke where Family Guy makes fun of Chase commercials, Stewie brings up that he is still concerned someone will recognize the taste. Then the scene comes to an end with Principal Shepard walking in, which makes Stewie and Brian immediately nervous. Now, I'm going to wrap up the B-plot here, because it's literally just a continuation of the scene. Principal Shepard walks in and the scene is played out intensely, and what really adds to it is just that as soon as Principal Shepard takes a sip of the coffee, he immediately recognizes that it's Folgers. The college students are shocked to overhear this at first, but quickly forgive them, only to flip-flop after finding out Brian was sliding into AOC's DMs. Brian gets cancelled once again, and that's the end of the B plot, as he and Stewie close up shop and pass the keys off to Principal Shepard. Now, we're going to resume to the A plot, where we see Peter and his friends chicken fighting in the water park pool. Meg tells the group to stop horsing around, reminding them that they agreed that they would behave, and after they continue horsing around, Meg tells Peter and his friends they are banned from the park. Peter tries to retaliate by running away, but he jumps into a pool that is too shallow. Peter knocks himself out and stops breathing, and with no other lifeguard on scene, Meg performs CPR on Peter. This event grosses out both Peter and Meg, as well as the people around them, which causes the two of them to be labeled a laughingstock. We then cut to Meg and Peter walking into their house and trying to avoid talking about the subject to Lois. However, Lois discovers on the news that Meg performed CPR on Peter, and she is visibly unhappy. Lois expresses to Meg that she is upset because of the things people are saying about their family online, and Lois walks away from the scene feeling humiliated. Eventually, Meg and Peter have a family meeting, and during the family meeting, Peter knocks himself out once again, but this time, Meg refuses to give him CPR. Lois tries to convince Meg to give Peter CPR once again, but then, out of nowhere, we cut to Stewie performing CPR on Peter, not seeing it as a big deal. Peter and Meg then make up, and Peter promises to treat Meg better in the future, and I really appreciate that Meg points out that Peter has said this before, and that nothing has changed and that she's over it. Peter then attempts to tell Meg that he loves her in sign language, and even if he did it completely wrong, it's his attempt at showing that he cares for Meg. Meg and Peter make up with a hug, and after a joke saying that none of the ending actually happened, we cut to the family sitting on the couch getting ready to wrap up the episode. Of course, as Family Guy usually goes to keep the story episodic, Meg tells the family that she quit her job at the water park. Then Brian and Stewie wonder how things are going with Principal Shepard at the coffee shop, and it's revealed to us that he has changed the store to a teacher's lounge theme. The show then ends on a strong joke as Principal Shepard points out that he has cut up a dozen donuts into quarters.
Your entire pastry case is just Tupperware, with people's names written in Sharpie.
Don't forget this sad box of donuts cut into quarters.
I swear, some of these jokes just really go overlooked. But now, I'm going to give my overall thoughts on the episode, pointing out what I liked and what I didn't like, as well as rating it between 1 and 5 stars. So first, I want to talk about the things that I didn't like about the episode. I wish this episode would have spent more time with the Griffins within the water park. I think it would have made for some really funny scenarios, and hell, usually water park episodes tend to be really funny settings for characters to go completely out of control. Like when I think of water park classics, I think of the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where the gang goes to the water park, or the water park episode in Malcolm in the Middle. And even within Family Guy, we have seen the Griffins do more entertaining things in a park setting, like in the cold opening when they went to the zoo. Also, Meg shows no leniency towards Peter and his friends and tries to kick them out after just one chicken fight, and I feel like the show would usually have a few more incidents happen before leading up to a banning. Also, I don't get why the whole town freaks out over Meg giving Peter CPR, like that's literally her job and that's what lifeguards are supposed to do in situations that require them to do so. And in a nutshell, that's really the message that Stewie delivers as well, because he didn't really see giving CPR to Peter as a big deal. I understand what they were going for though with the gross out factor of performing CPR on your family. It just wasn't delivered very well. Next, the Brian and Stewie plot with them running the coffee shop was just a little boring. I kind of felt like it detracted from the episode to stretch it out, and you can really see that essentially at the end of the episode because it just cuts from the B-plot and then resumes exactly to where the B-plot was at. Also, I'm pretty tired of the Brian getting canceled jokes. To me, they're just starting to feel a little played out. But there are still some decent jokes within the Brian and Stewie part that I will get to now, as I'm going to talk about what I did enjoy about the episode. So from the Brian and Stewie segment, my favorite joke for sure is when they do a gag making fun of Chase and their commercials, while also throwing jabs at them for the 2008 financial crash.
At Chase Bank, we're about more than just foreclosing on American servicemen while overseas. We're about small business. So when you think of Chase, don't think of the 2008 financial crash. think of your local sympathetic small business.
Also, I love the joke where Meg tried to put on red slippers from The Wizard of Oz, and it turns into ripping on coals. I don't know what it is about The Wizard of Oz and Family Guy, but it's hilarious anytime they parody the movie.
All right, I'm gonna check her for diseases. There's just one thing I want you to do.
What's that?
Talk me out of it.
No.
Also, in this episode, we had a random character cameo I spotted from someone I don't think we have seen in a while. During the montage of the different coffee shops, you can see the Quahog College librarian Brian dated all the way back in the episode, The D in Apartment 23. So I just thought that was something neat worth sharing with you guys. You guys know me, I'm always looking out for those missing characters. Back to the episode with Meg, the lifeguard grossout jokes did get a good laugh out of everyone in the room I watched it with, so even if it is shocking, I can't say it wasn't funny. Finally, I appreciated that Meg called Peter out on how he always promises to treat her better, but he reverts to treating her like crap time and time again. I just wish there was a little bit more build-up within this episode as to why Meg snapped at Peter, because it really didn't take much for all of this to escalate. So now it's time to rate the episode. For this review, I'm going to give Family Guy Season 22, Episode 13's Lifeguard Meg 2.5 out of 5 stars. Just to be clear, a 5-star episode to me would be something like Road to Rhode Island or Brian Wallows and Peter Swallows. A 1-star episode to me would be something like Return of the King of Queens or Herpy the Love Sore. And Family Guy's Lifeguard Meg, like with another episode I recently reviewed called Cabin Pressure, just kind of falls in the middle where we are probably just going to forget about the episode in a few weeks. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below if you like the episode, if you dislike the episode, or what you thought of the video. And of course, if you like videos like these and you want to keep up with my Family Guy reviews, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you can be notified as these videos release. Alrighty guys, you all take care, have a good one.